Right then, this is a quick walk around video. This is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel, and it's the automatic version. As you can see here, finished in black, side steps fitted as well. Just, I think it's 55,000, but I'll just double check the mileage when we get inside. But the car's in stunning condition. One of the very best you're going to see inside and out, actually. Around the front, hardly a stone chip anywhere, and it really is very clean on the front. There'll be the odd tiny little mark which I can't see or haven't spotted or the camera doesn't pick up on, but it is exceptionally clean. Flank down there, absolutely mirror smooth, no indentations at all. Near side front alloy, really clean. Full set of really good Michelins on this car as well, which is a lovely sign of ownership. The history of the car, as you'll know from the advert, is absolutely impeccable too. And inside rear alloy, absolutely unmarked. And under that panel again, wonderfully clean. Same around the back, can't see any marks of any note around here at all. Going to the off side of the car, as with the near side, it's just blemish free on the panels, no indentations again that I can see. Offside rear alloy is really clean, just one tiny little mark on one of the spokes there, so I've actually managed to find something. Otherwise it really is quite an exceptional example, it really is. Coming into the boot area, all in, again, just beautiful condition. It looks like it's hardly been used in the back here. Middle shelf, looks like it's straight out the factory. And all the plastics, all the covers, all the carpeted areas, absolutely superb. Coming to the back of the car now, huge amounts of rear leg room, and those seats are set for me, and I'm over 6 foot tall, so I'm not cheating. Worth pointing out, this is the area of CR-Vs which always take a battering, so it's quite often you'll go and see one which looks nice on the outside, but in the back where the kids have been sitting, they're battered about. This one has been treated incredibly gently. Coming to the front passenger side now, full set of rubberized Honda mats fitted throughout this car. Front passenger seat, for all intents and purposes, looks as new. Driver's door card, as with all the others, in top condition. Footwell area is all lovely and clean. So the sun's just decided to poke its head out, which is not great for videos, unfortunately, so I do apologise. Trust me, the driver's seat's lovely. Inside the car now, engine's running through a section of the video, so you can see the dashboard actually illuminated. Dash itself is in absolutely stunning condition, as with the rest of the vehicle. You see there, sat nav working exactly as it's intended to, and if we pop the car into reverse, you've got that lovely clear camera on the vehicle as well, but really is in fabulous condition in here. Just pan around to the dashboard for you and go in there, so hopefully you can see 55,811 miles, and aside from the fuel lights on, there are no warning lights on this vehicle at all. It really is in extraordinary condition. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. So finally, just to come under this beautifully presented engine bay by Honda. They always do a lovely job on these things. Honda D-Tech engine with cam chain, no cam belts to worry about on these vehicles at all. And they are fabulous cars in operation. More of which in the following road test video. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel, and it's the automatic car. This particular vehicle is registered YH10LVK, and mileage at the start of the road test is 55,811 miles. The reason we do these road tests is basically so anyone that's looking at this very vehicle online in an advert actually gets to see it in operation. We feel it's right if people are willing to travel the distances they do to come and see our cars, that we go to the time and effort to do this for you. Gives us the opportunity whilst doing the road test to feedback on any issues there might be on the vehicle, We know what it's like to go and see cars only to find out there's a glaring fault with it, which you clearly should have been told about. It's also done on these lovely quiet country roads very close to our premises, so it will be representative of what you'll feel when test driving the car if offered one. So coming to the car itself, as you'll know from the advert, it's been exceptionally well looked after, this car, and it feels it absolutely immediately. I've got exactly the same car myself, by the way, so I know, I've had loads of them, so I know exactly how they should drive. And this one is tight as anything. It's a lovely car. Engine starts absolutely instantly, and obviously it sort of settles to completely smooth and even idle. The engines on these, they've got a lovely power delivery. It's very little turbo lag, pulls beautifully, and with great, really sort of linear power delivery through the entire rev range. There's no great surges of power and then it drops off. It's a really lovely engine. Very smooth, very quiet in operation as well. Very good on fuel, especially on long runs. They're fantastic on fuel in that sense. But just a lovely, lovely engine to drive, and it doesn't feel particularly diesely, apart from the great torque it provides as you're driving along. No warning lights at all on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running as a third, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car, and the engine's been running for quite some time now. Engine then feeds through into the automatic gearbox, which is a lovely box, originally taken out of the original Honda Legend actually. They wanted a gearbox that was able to withstand the torque demands of the diesel engine, and it's a lovely gearbox. It's very smooth shifting, very slick. That's not to say you shouldn't do the usual checks on them, just make sure that the gearbox doesn't engage with thunks, and make sure that all the gear changes are nice and smooth, and it's exactly as they are on this particular car. I mean, they're incredibly long lasting gearboxes, they really are, so there's not a lot to look out for on them, but the basics should be done. Steering on the vehicle, I've said it in many of the previous videos, I love on this vintage because it's the proper hydraulic power steering, and it's just got a lovely weighting to it. It makes the car feel heavier on the road than it actually is, but it gives you a feeling of real security on the road. It just feels absolutely hunkered down onto the road surface. And that's not to say it's heavy, by the way, it's just the feeling it gives. So obviously with power steering there's very little effort required, but the way they've set it up is brilliant. I can't feel any wear to the steering at all, by the way, and it tracks absolutely bullet straight, and there's no vibrations at all coming back through the steering wheel either, which is a bit of a pet hate of mine, as I've said on lots of my previous videos. Chassis of the vehicle, the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, so Honda know their market very well, and it's so obvious when you drive them because everything it does really well. It's smooth, quiet, but the ride is really compliant, absorbs the major bumps really, really well. But what it doesn't do is flounder and roll and pitch and wallow through corners, which so many do, which can be incredibly uncomfortable, particularly for people in the back of the cars. And if your kids are prone to car sickness like mine, you can imagine what the consequence of that is going to be. It's just brilliant. It flows through corners. It holds its line and composure brilliantly. It's a really, really classy chassis on this car. Just going to swing round now. Brakes on the car, by the way, are fantastic. There's we just done a pre-delivery inspection. They're in really, really good condition, but when you hit the brakes it doesn't pulse or vibrate, and also just give it a good shove there. It brings the nose down straight and true. There's no kind of pulling left, right or otherwise, but they're very confidence inspiring. Looking around inside the car, obviously it's a home from home for me because mine's the same as this, albeit not quite so clean. This is in just stunning condition, beautifully made, of course. Everything, absolutely everything working exactly as it should. The air conditioning's ice cold. The heated seats work perfectly, sat nav, every button you press has got a lovely high quality actuation to it as well. Dashboard in front of me, typical Honda, lovely, simple, easy, legible dials, and you know, all the information it's giving is there. There's no pixelation issues or anything. Steering wheel likewise feels pretty much as new in hand. Multifunction steering wheel clearly with your audio on the top right, cruise control, top left, cruise control top right here, and to show you that all works absolutely perfectly. Bottom left, we've got hands-free functions and voice recognition system as well. And then on the bottom right, we've got the information display for the dashboard in front of me. But all working, as I said, absolutely perfectly. As you probably know, these are obviously four-wheel drive vehicles, albeit again, Honda with experience of this particular marketplace know that the vast majority of people's driving will be doing what I'm doing today, which is driving on perfectly good roads and perfectly okay conditions where you don't need four-wheel drive wearing away. Cars which have got permanent four-wheel drive, basically they're constantly using more fuel, more aggressive on the tyres and putting more mechanical wear through the car. This car, there's no buttons to press to activate it. It'll do it absolutely automatically. It's genius. I've done loads of towing with my CRVs over the years, and if you're going through a wet and soggy pitch with the caravan, front wheels momentarily start to slip, and then suddenly you just feel the rear wheels engage. And it is absolutely seamless. It's a bit like someone giving you a push in the back. So smooth, so clever, and its simplicity is its reliability, basically, because we've never touched one, and we've sold literally thousands of CRVs, and we've never put a spanner on the four-wheel drive system, so it just shows how tough they are. And they disengage just as quickly as they engage, by the way, so you don't have to just got to wait for ages for that to happen. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it is to pick up on any issues, and as you're probably expecting, there's nothing at all, and that's not to say we won't tell you, we always do. And as I said, I'm in a position where I know these cars intimately, so if there was something awry, I would know straight away. But whoever's lucky enough to get this example, because it is an absolutely wonderful example of one of these cars, will be a very, very lucky person indeed. Having said that, if we've missed anything on the video, don't hesitate, do give us a call and we'll happily answer any questions you might have.